The 2019-20 NBA season has been a rather peculiar one, to say the least. From the whole COVID-19 pandemic to looking like one of the most balanced seasons in recent history, a lot has happened for sure. But what about the players who surprised many and exceeded expectations based on recent previous seasons? What is up with everybody? My name is Luke, and in this video I'm gonna go over 7 different players who bounced back in the 2019-20 season. Their recent seasons, past 2 or so, have all been underwhelming or unspectacular, but this season they proved that they're still capable and are names that you should definitely look out for. Number 7. Carmelo Anthony. I'll admit it, I thought that Melo was done after his poor stretch with Houston last season. With the Rockets, he only lasted 10 games and they gave up on him, and it seemed like nobody else was interested in picking him up, as he failed to play any more games for the rest of the season. When he got signed to the Blazers, I wasn't sure if he was going to last for the rest of the season, but he did. His stats themselves were not that incredible by any means, but he played well enough and made solid contributions to the team as a scorer that they could rely on when Dame or CJ needed to take a break. In the bubble, he also played quite well, scoring more than 20 points for 4 out of 8 of the seeding games and 21 in the play-in game against the Grizzlies. In the playoffs against the Lakers, he had a couple of duels against longtime rival LeBron James, and I'm confident that he can ball again. Hopefully, he can contribute to any contending playoff team for the rest of his career. Number 6. Dwight Howard. People have been saying that Dwight was going to have a bounce back season for a few years now, which he kinda did in the 2017-18 season with the Charlotte Hornets. But in my opinion, he was definitely more productive this season than 2 years ago. He only played 9 games last year due to a back injury, and quite a few people thought that he was done, and that this season he'd get cut after only a few games with the Lakers. However, this time he understood his role well, which was to be a rim protector off the bench and less of a focal point on offense, and he was great. This season he had a career high in true shooting percentage and also his best win shares per 48 minutes since leaving the Magic. Obviously, he's not the same superstar that he was when he was in Orlando anymore, but he proved to the world he can still be effective as a role player on a championship contending team. Number 5. Will Barton. Barton had a rough 2018-19, battling injuries for a good half of the season, and didn't play very well when he was healthy. His playoffs were bad enough to the point that Michael Malone decided to start Torrey Craig over him. But this season, Barton surprised me in a good way, producing again much like he did in the 2017-18 season. Not to mention, he has been solid as a shot creator and has had confidence with taking contested threes and other things on offense just like that. Defensively, he's been decent too. It's too bad though that he hasn't been able to play in the playoffs yet, and the Nuggets definitely could have used him as an extra contributor. Still, his efforts this season have been super helpful to Denver, no doubt about it. Number 4. Ben McLemore. Remember when McLemore first got drafted by the Kings, scouts thought that he would become the next Ray Allen? Well, clearly that hasn't turned out very well, and history has shown that Sacramento could not draft key players for its life at all. Anyway, since then, McLemore was pretty much a scrub who could not find a team to play with, and I thought he was going to be out of the league really soon. But this year, the Rockets gave him a shot, and he's been a solid role player off the bench for them. He averaged 10 points on 40% shooting from 3, as well as a career high in true shooting percentage, showing that he can be on any team that still needs somebody to make some threes, whether it be off the bench or as a fringe starter. Now, is he going to become the next Ray Allen after all? No, but still good for a player who looked like he was poised to end up in the G League or overseas after just 3 or 4 years. Number 3. KRISTAPS Porzingis. Honestly, Porzingis was pretty disappointing to start off the season, shooting less than 40% from the field for most of 2019, and not shooting that well from 3 either. He looked like he was just being a Ryan Anderson on offense, which obviously worked as the Mavs did have the league's best offense this season. However, that sort of play was definitely not worth the money that the Mavs gave him. But the second half of the season he popped off, and he did so in the bubble too. Post All-Star break, he averaged 26 points and 11 rebounds, and in the bubble pre-playoffs he went off too, averaging 31 points and 10 rebounds, playing well enough to get into the all-bubble second team. During the 3 games he played in the playoffs, he was also shooting lights out, but sadly, went out and missed the rest of the playoffs due to his meniscus tear. Hopefully, he'll improve next season and help take Dallas to new heights as a team in the West wanting to chase a championship at some point. Number 2. Gordon Hayward. I'm sure we all remember Gordon Hayward's gruesome injury in his Celtics debut. He came back with the full season to recover, but last year looked super washed, averaging his lowest scoring average since his rookie season. His play was so bad that he also lost his starting job. But this season, he bounced back nicely, tying his career high in true shooting percentage and became a nice all-around threat for Boston. I did think that he was going to make the All-Star game this year and average around 20 points, but still, he's done pretty well if I don't say so myself. But is he worth the 4-year, $128 million contract that the Celtics gave him in the summer of 2017? Not really, but at least people know that he's no slouch and can contribute to any team. I'm sure that he will be a highly touted free agent when his contract expires next season. And number 1, Chris Paul. This season, we were able to witness what a healthy Chris Paul can do. CP3 is the top 10 point guard of all time, but his second season with Houston wasn't great. He looked like one of the worst contracts in the league, being unable to stay healthy and averaged the fewest points per game of his career, as well as his worst field goal percentage. When he got traded to the Thunder, basically everybody thought that OKC would miss the playoffs and finish near the bottom of the conference. That obviously did not happen though, and they surprised everybody. Chris Paul is a big reason why that was the case. He stayed healthy, missing only 2 games the whole season, the fewest he's missed in about 5 years. Not only did he help lead the team to the 5th seed, he also got his first All-Star selection since 2016 and had a performance worthy of an All-NBA selection this season. He of course also served as a great mentor to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's looking like a future All-Star. That being said though, his contract is still pretty bad, but now teams are probably more likely to want to trade for him given how well he played this year, and most teams would definitely be happy to have him on their squad. Anyway, that does it for this video. Those were my 7 players who bounced back this season. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, hit the subscribe button, and turn on notifications. Do you agree with my list? Were there players that maybe I should have included instead of these 7? Let me know, and with that, I'm out. See you guys next time.